Hi friends, and welcome back to another video. This one is going to be a little bit different because I've got some work I need to get done and I definitely needed a video. So I've been promising to do another chatty work with me, so here we are. I will apologize right off the bat that the lighting and sound might not be the best in this video, so I'm really hoping you can hear me and that you can see me because I'm having to use some of my equipment to do the actual work. So we are gonna do some shoe photography today. I will share a little bit about my process. I did do a video about my shoe photography process on my channel a while ago, so I will go back and find that and link it down below, of course, in the description. But as we're going through, I'll share a little bit about my process, and then I have a couple questions that you guys have asked recently in the comments that I try to respond to as many comments as possible on my YouTube videos, but some of them are just kind of hard, like they're long or complicated or there'd be too many contingencies, so I just kind of write them down and save them for an upcoming video. And we're gonna chat through while I take some pictures. I have like 2 baskets of shoes. Like as I type things into my inventory, I put all the clothes aside and then I just kind of plop shoes in here until I have enough that's worth me like getting all my equipment out and photographing. So hi, my name is Maria. If you happen to be new here and stumbled upon this video, I am a part-time reseller. So as you can see, I do not have any sort of dedicated reseller space in my entire business process. This is literally my dining room. You're sitting like in my kitchen facing in, and I just find a way to get things done as most part-time resellers do. I have behind you in my kitchen is where we do my clothes photography. I do have a video on my channel about that I will link down as well. We did a chatty work with me. I have storage in my basement, like to the side, and then we have all of like our Christmas stuff on the other side. And yeah, I sit right here in the other room and I type on the laptop to do all my listings. So we make it work, as many full-time resellers do and as probably most part-time resellers do. So if you are struggling with always feeling like there's just stuff everywhere and you don't have the workspace, like I get it, I am here with you, and sometimes it is hard on my brain because I don't like clutter, and I also have 2 small children, so obviously like there's probably toys in the background. I didn't really sanitize, but that's just a little bit of my life right now and the stage that I am in. I feel like you can see half my face, but not the other half, and I feel like Two-Face from Batman. So hopefully that's not super distracting. But that's the stage of my life that's in right now. I'm making it work. If you're feeling that too, it's okay. Do what you can. Like I try to limit the amount of like piles and clothes I have sitting around my house, just because I don't like the aesthetic of that personally, and I want to make sure that my children and my husband aren't like stumbling over things, so I try to keep stuff, you know, in the basement until I'm ready to list it, or specifically in like one little corner or something like that. So as you see, this is a ring light that I normally use for my YouTube videos, and I have it bent over to be just my lighting for when I take shoes. I have this, like, it's marbled, so I'll pop up pictures of some of my shoes. But it's only marbled because I used to do like beauty photography on this. You do not need one. Honestly, I'm probably gonna replace it with just a white background, but you could get that like thin cardstock at like Staples. And I just have a piece of masking tape and I fold half of it against the wall and half of it on the floor. And when I set the shoe on it and take a picture, I'll be popping up pictures as we go. It gives it like just like infinite view. Like if you were to take 2 pieces of paper and stick them next to each other, you would see that crisp line right there. But having it folded, when the picture comes out, it blends perfectly and it just looks like a flat background. So if you're looking for some way to take pictures, I absolutely recommend this. I've thought about like upgrading and it's just never been worth it to me because this works well for me. And then this paper I can just tuck behind, actually up in my guest room where we do all the ship with me's, I just tuck it behind that dresser in there, so it's out of sight, out of mind, and I pull it out when I need it. It's also what I use when I'm doing my clothing photography. I do most of my photography on the wall, but for like jeans or things that are hard to get to tags on the wall when they're hanging, I will lay on this and take a picture. So you'll also see this background in some of my clothing photography too. Okay, usually when I'm trying to photograph, I photograph like items first. Like I have a bunch of tennis shoes that I'm gonna do. I've got some hiking boots. I don't have a ton of stuff to do, so this won't be a super long video, but I just kind of wanted to show you guys my process. Hiking boots, those are similar. And then I'll do like sandals and stuff like that together, just so I've talked about this photographing clothing items is that I try to do like all the jeans and then all the sweaters and then all the dresses, because it's just easier on your mind to process like-minded things. I also have some random things. I have a little hat, I have a couple hats, some books. So we're gonna get through these, and then as we get into things, I'll talk about a couple topics quickly. But I have quite a few sandals. The sandals I really need to get listed quickly. These are my daughter's, but she has outgrown them, so we're gonna get them listed. They're super cute. She left a couple gibbets in them, but she had some princess ones that we took out and we kept. So yeah, when I'm doing my photography, I just stick it right on here. I do photograph just with my phone. My lovely husband is letting me borrow his phone right now to record so that I can have all the photos on my phone. Normally I would use my actual real camera, but it only holds on this stand, but I need this stand for the lighting, so you're on like a little stand. It's okay, we're making it work, right? That's what this game is. So I just I photograph with my phone, put it into 1 by 1. You can tell I did not prep at all for this, and just take my pictures. I usually do the first picture, if anybody cares, kind of like sideways so you can see, sorry for all the lighting, the cutest angle of them. Sometimes I will just do a 1, so it's flat like this on the first photo. It kind of depends on what I'm feeling like. And then I will move them around. I'll do the top, the front, so you can see all the toe wear, the back. I will, oh, you guys can't really see, you're below, but then I'll do a couple flat on one side. I'll put a scrolling up on the screen as I'm going so you can see kind of what the photos are coming out looking like. And then I will flip them over and just hold them in my hand, and I will do one like that. I'll do a close-up of, like this one, I'm gonna, so that you can tell that it's like a Velcro, I'm gonna partially unvelcro it, take a picture of that. And I'll do a close-up on the sides. So when it comes to cleaning, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm leaving that in there. Like kids that play in Crocs, could I take a few minutes to like completely wash these? I could, but it's really not worth it. If there's bad things, like there's some that I might be cleaning throughout this video, I of course will. Crocs also, I probably should have thought of it. You can just throw in the washing machine. I've mentioned this recently on my channel. Just make sure it's in a cold cycle wash and that you do not put it in the dryer because they will shrink and get wonky. When you're purchasing Crocs, be really careful that they are the same size, because I had a pair once that when I went to I typed them in my inventory, and when I went to photograph them, one was smaller than the other. Like one had they were same size. They definitely went together, but one had been shrunk at one point and one hadn't. So those were a loss that I had to just accept. But okay, then I'm just gonna throw them back in here. Yeah, so I've got this little thing right here that I keep when I'm doing any sort of photography. Like it has like my lint roller, I took some things out, but my hangers, I have my tailor's tape that I do all of my measuring with. I also measure if there's any heels, so I should probably just keep that out. It's got my sweater shaver, it's got my steamer. Some things I use for shoes sometimes are nail polish remover. Goof Off is really good for like white, like we'll probably use it on these Allbirds on the midsoles. I just have a normal kind of cleaning brush and sponge. I have a lighter to get off those pesky little strings for certain things. Cotton pads, I have glue gun. So that everything's right here, so that I'm not like running their house looking for things when I need it, that I can sit in this spot and just get all my shoes done. I honestly usually have my laptop right here and I'm watching a YouTube video when I do this and when I do my clothes photography, because it makes the time pass and I'm still in the rhythm. I've got some of the Doc Martens Wonderbalm, and I also, what I was going to get to, have the little shoe inserts. Now, full disclaimer, these are the little plastic ones you can get on Amazon. I think I bought a pack of like 3 or 4, and these are the last set. And when they break, I don't know if I'm gonna buy these ones because they are so flimsy. They weren't very expensive, but for tennis shoes, I would definitely recommend if you follow Dealing with Dalton. He's a YouTuber, he's an Instagrammer, but he is a shoe reseller. He made his own that are very nice. A lot of resellers like them. He runs lots of sales. I think he's even mentioned like DM him on Instagram and he'll give you the, you know, the best price he can at the time. So I'm probably going to purchase one of those. I do think there's a time that I will want these specifically, like because they're see-through and acrylic. His are definitely, he does a lot more like sneakers and stuff, whereas I still have a lot of heels and sandals that I might not want the like silver and black, like bulkier one, because it just won't look as delicate, that I'll still want these. But that's my quick disclaimer. So I'm going to pop these in here just to hold up the sling back, to give it a better idea of what they would look like if you were wearing them. I've also seen people buy the little plastic like feet inserts that can go in them. I think Ginger Martin has purchased those and really likes them. I think even then like Hustle at Home Mom then like bought them because Ginger Martin bought them and they both use them now. So the reselling community is small but mighty. So we're all just trying to pass along tips and tricks. But so this one I'm just going to do a single so you can see the back of it. So it'll look like that. And then I'll put the other one in and I'll do all of the pictures just like I did the last one. So as I'm going, I'm just going to do quite a few of these. I had somebody ask recently, when did I start seeing like steady sales coming into my store? Like I think this was on a video that was probably one of my what sold videos or ship with me, that I had been having really good sales because I've felt really blessed. I'm filming this, oh my gosh, when is it? Like the third week in June. And oh my gosh, this is hard. I don't remember which pictures I took. I have to remember to talk and work at the same time. And I've been having really good sales. And so the comment was, you know, when did I really start seeing steady sales in my store, especially as a part-time reseller? Now, what I will say is, it is not always like that. Today is a Sunday. I had my worst week last week than I've had in months. I've been seeing like $500, $600, up to like $1,000 a week profit consistently over the last few months. And I barely hit 400 last week. So this really is a roller coaster, and I didn't necessarily do anything different. I was still listing consistently. I was still listing good stuff. And that's just the way this is, unfortunately. And I have to just keep at it and keep listing through it as long as I'm listing good items. But as far as the actual question of, you know, when did I start seeing consistent sales? It's a really good question, and I don't have an amazing answer for it. These ones are hard because they're like the yoga slingbacks. So I have to like put the thing in here. Let's see. Where'd my plastic things go? I'm sorry if I'm a bit disorganized. I haven't done a video like this before. So I think I'm gonna do it like that, and I'll be able to see both of them. But there's a few things that I could point to that I want to talk about that I think really did increase the amount of consistent sales that I was having. Even since I've been a part-time reseller, let's just round to like 3 years, I think. The first like 6 months, who really knows what you're doing? Nobody. We're watching YouTube videos, we're Googling things, we're trying to find the best stuff in the thrift store. But we don't have any personal experience of what sells or what doesn't. Yeah, I think that works. Oh, that's myself. Here we go. I think that's okay. So we're just figuring things out. So taking away like the first year where you're going to see inconsistent sales because you're getting used to being consistent, you're finding out how to even look up sell-through rate and know, you know, what not to buy, and to look up sold comps and not just listed comps, and like all the things and all the mistakes that we're going to make learning to resell. But outside of that, I honestly think that the past like year is when I started seeing more consistent sales. And I think even the past 6 months, sorry if you can hear the fire truck. The past 6 months is really when I've seen what I would say like strong, consistent sales. And there's a few things I think that I could point to. I don't have any way of proving any of these, of course, but this is what I will point to. One of them is I started finally doing sell similars on eBay. First of all, when I first started reselling, I only sold on Poshmark for the first 6 to 9 months, I think. And then I eventually swapped over and started cross-listing to eBay as well. Best decision I've ever made. If you're not cross-listing on at least 2 platforms, I would highly recommend it. That way, if something happens to a platform or you get suspended, even though you shouldn't be, talking about you, Poshmark, you have a fallback plan. So once like everything was actually listed on both platforms, I had been, even though I know it's controversial right now, I had been relisting on Poshmark for quite some time, even if I was just doing like 5 items a day. But Poshmark eBay, I still wasn't doing that, because Poshmark, I was able to do it with Posher VA. So it made the process a lot easier, and I just didn't take the time to invest doing it on eBay, because I knew I had to do the like relist, like remove the item, either relist or sell similar the item, to make it like worth the effort, to make the YouTube algorithm, or not the YouTube algorithm, YouTube algorithm is a whole different beast, but the eBay algorithm, to even make it care and to push your listing. So probably about a year ago, I really started taking that seriously, maybe a year and a half ago, and I was doing like 5 to 10 items every day. At the beginning of this year is when I started doing 20 items a day, sell similar on eBay every single day. And for me, I have a store of about 1,500 items. So that, I think that has really helped increase my sales on eBay. And it also means I don't have as many like old stale listings. Does the size come off on this one? It's like really hard to see. I'm trying to get an up close photo. It's one of those things, like in real life, I can see the little 6, but it's not gonna come off on camera very well. I think I got it. Little Flojos. I think the 20 relists a day, I haven't increased the amount of listings I'm doing. I'm still doing 5, and then if I have time to do a few more, I am more often than not listing at least 6 now, I should say. But, and then around the same time, well, I think exactly at the same time as I started doing that, instead of relisting 5 or 10 on Poshmark daily, I started relisting 20. So every single day, I was listing 5 new items, and I was relisting or sell similaring 20 new items on both platforms. And I really, really, really think that helped my sales, because it also took out some of the stale items that might have been dragging down my store. And I know there's an argument to be made that like I shouldn't have that many stale items in my store, because I should reevaluate what's not selling, and I should pull them or take them to consignment or buy, sell, trade, or just redonate them or whatever. I know that I've talked about that, I think, in a previous Chatty work with me, that for me, that would make my processing time harder. I just, with the limited amount of time I already have to do all my reselling and my YouTubing, I just don't have the time to go through all that. If I was a full-time reseller, maybe I would work that into my business model. But right now, it's easier for me to just keep relisting, accept the $5, $10, $15 when it does sell. I have the storage for it. So I've just worked it into my business model at this point. So I think that really helped give me consistent sales. What should we do next? Let's start doing some tennis shoes. Allbirds. I don't pick them up anymore, as I'm holding some. These were free from the swap meets if you watched those videos. So I would not have paid for these at Goodwill though. I don't think I'm listing these very high. Hopefully they will sell. Probably should have just seen if my husband wanted them, because I think they're his size. I don't know if he'd want brown ones though. Oh, we were gonna clean off the midsoles here a little bit. Let me try to do that. So I use Goof Off. Is that what it is? Yeah, Goof Off. And I just use a little cotton swab, or the cotton rounds. Get this in here. These were my daughter's too. I got them, I think, thrifting or at the bins or something, and she literally never wore them. So hopefully another kid can, but how cute are they? They've got little heart. They're little what, Pumas? Yeah. But at least that means she didn't destroy them and I can resell them now. So I'm just gonna go through on the midsoles and lighten them up a bit. They're not bad, they're just a little dingy. And it really does help. Just be really careful, like the first time you're using this on a product. Like I've used them on this before, so I know it's not gonna hurt them. But this stuff will like take everything off. Also, if you ever have cute nails, I don't right now because my acrylics were tough on my nails, so I'm kind of letting them chill for a little bit before I do something else. Wear gloves or something because it will pull the paint off. Or be really careful. I found that out the hard way the first time, and I learned my lesson. Okay, so can you see a little bit of a difference there? Hopefully. You don't have great lighting. I'm not worrying about the bottom because they're just gonna get more dirty and listing them as pre-owned, and I'm showing the bottom of the shoes in my photos. But we're just doing a little bit here. Okay, I'm trying to think what else has made more consistent. Obviously just getting better as a reseller, like growing as a reseller, finding better brands that are gonna have a higher sell-through, but also, you guys have seen my videos. I sell low-tier items. Like I will sell the Columbias and the Talbots and the Zaras of the world, but I think I'm better at pricing now and running sales and knowing that this will sell, but it might only sell for $15. So having a mix of better understanding prices and knowing higher end items to source. So when I find those brands at their store, I know to pick it up or I know to look it up. Really just having a better understanding of like what's quality and what's unusual. So like if I don't recognize something, but I can tell it's quality, that has really helped me find some bolos that I had never seen, I had never heard of. Okay, I think we're gonna do this one as a one shoe. This is how I do most of my sneakers. So do you see how that just like blends into the background and it looks like it's a flat marble? So that's worked for me really well. I really would just recommend getting white probably though. If I were to go purchase something, I just need to go to like Office Depot. You know the cardboard I'm talking about? Like when you make like the little kid projects, like not the cardboard, but like cardstock. That's what I would recommend. Can anybody sell Allbirds anymore? I've sold a few of the like different types, like not just the tree runners and the wool runners. Other styles from them have done well. I think these styles, these are the tree runners, they're just super saturated. But these ones were in really good condition, and if I'm getting them for free, I do still think I'll be able to sell them. They are a men's 10. If anybody has a guy that needs a men's chocolate brown size 10 sneaker, I am here for you. Okay, let's do a few more. The other topic I wanted to talk about is Poshmark, because I've had a couple comments of people asking like, with Poshmark's, you know, updates, how is that going? Have I had any issues? And I just figured I would address it here. So if you don't sell on Poshmark, or if you've been living under the proverbial rock, Poshmark updated one of their policies, their listing policy, with things that are intended to, I'm gonna kind of, it's got some fur and fuzzies, so I'm actually gonna lint roll these shoes. I think it's trying to, I think this heart and soul of it is it's trying to decrease the amount of people that are like relisting their entire closet like daily or weekly or, you know, whatever. I don't think those are the people like you and me that are reselling. I think it's like the bigger companies selling like fast fashion stuff. So this is a good example. If you guys don't use a lighter, do you see these little stringies? It just, let me see if I can, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this, but like, see these little stringies? It just makes all those go away. So, and then they won't re-stringy because it's been burned at the end. Think of it as like cauterizing a wound. The wound won't restart without being re-agitated because it's been cauterized, as opposed to just like snipping a string that it could then come off again. So I do this quite a bit. Just don't do it with anything that, because sometimes it might leave a little dark mark on the edge. Obviously that's fine because these are black, but be really careful, especially until you're used to it. I've kind of gotten a vibe of what shoes I can do it on and what shoes I should not do it on. Certainly not looking to damage a shoe, but it really does help clean things up. Okay, I'm going to use a bit of this too. These are Lane 8, which I wasn't familiar with, but they have a really high resale price, or retail price. I think it was like $140. I picked these up at the swap meet also. They just looked interesting. Some mud on the side there. Okay. Yeah, so Poshmark basically was like, hey, stop delisting items. And they said that you can delist items that are 60 days or older, like delist and relist, and that you can still delist items that have sold on other platforms. But people keep getting suspended. Like, there's been a lot of content creators that have posted stuff about them or followers getting suspended for doing things that do follow the policy, and that they've been able to sometimes get those, you know, reversed. But it looks like there's a robot, some sort of AI, that's probably reviewing people's patterns and then just automatically giving you a warning and then giving you a quick suspension. I am happy to report that I have not yet received a warning or a suspension on Poshmark. I did in the very immediate, like, stop delisting anything on Poshmark because I was very scared. I am now, as things sell on eBay, I am going about my normal business, delisting them, actually using List Perfectly to delist them, so that things don't double sell on Poshmark. And I haven't had any issues. I still am not relisting in the way that I used to, though. As I was saying earlier, I was doing delist relist for Poshmark for 20 items before all of this happened. I stopped completely because I was nervous, and then I restarted. I think in the last update I did, I don't remember which video, just kind of a quick update. I think I said I had just started relisting 5 items a day. Got more stringies. And then I started seeing more people getting suspended, so that made me nervous too. So now I am doing 5 items every once in a while, like every other day, every couple days. I saw a bunch of people get warning letters that basically said, like, in whatever month you listed this many items, but you delisted this many items. And it sounds like if the ratio, Poshmark didn't like them, that then they were getting suspended. Now, I saw a lot of this, like Ethan Banks, who's also a shoe seller. He sells most of his shoes on eBay, and he sells fast. Like, he sells quick sell-through shoes. So he was like, yeah, Poshmark, I delisted the ones that sold on eBay. What do you want me to do? You said that's allowed in your policy. And he was able to get it reversed. And then I saw something where he was suspended again, and hopefully he got that reversed. So all of that has me nervous because I don't have the time to be sending Poshmark all these emails. I've mentioned before, I can't access any of my stuff while I'm at work during the normal workday. I know I don't talk about my job very much, but I can't be sending Poshmark emails during the workday. I would only be able to contact them after hours and then just wait and see what comes in and check my phone again after, work. So I'm trying to be really careful. I'm probably being paranoid at this point. I'm really curious to hear updates from you guys So if anyone has been suspended or warned on Poshmark and doesn't mind sharing with everybody in the comments, I'd love to hear your experience. Because things are just a little bit crazy. All right, I'm gonna finish up this one shoe and then finish the rest off camera because I don't wanna bore y'all too much. But yeah, Poshmark is just like, I know people have been saying like, I'm done with Poshmark, I'm quitting. Poshmark is still, like when I look at my sales, is still my best platform. eBay will often outperform them in any given week, but if I look at my numbers for the last 3 months or so, Poshmark still wins. So, but even if it were equal, I would lose half my sales, which would be absolutely awful. So obviously I know then I could dedicate more time to eBay, or I could list more things on eBay, but I really don't want to lose Poshmark. I don't want anyone to lose Poshmark. I'm still really hopeful that they're gonna somehow figure this out. At the very least, it seems like they need to have a human reviewing a suspension before it goes out. I don't have a way to prove that they're not doing that, but it very much appears like they're not. I know PoshFest is coming up, so I'm really hoping that for anyone that is still gonna go, I've never been to PoshFest. It's just hard with my full-time job to take off work to do that. Someday I would love to. Same with eBay Open. I'm hoping that this is brought up either by Poshmark, I'm sure in a way that won't be satisfactory to most people, or that there's some sort of forum where resellers, or just sellers I should say, ask some really good questions and maybe can somehow have an open dialogue about this, because it's affecting a lot of people. It's stressing a lot of people out. It's adding a lot of work to people trying to get, you know, unsuspended, given access again, which is very frustrating. But okay, I am going to finish things off camera. I only have a couple more. I will say I'm usually moving much faster when I'm not thinking and talking at the same time. It does not normally take me this long to do like 15 pairs of shoes. Hopefully it was a bit interesting. Thank you for at least just hanging out with me. It does make the time pass. Please give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.